So I decided to play Ragnarok with self-imposed rules, and it was super fun. I want to share with you guys how it was playing this way. Starting from level 1, I recorded everything, every single minute I was online with my character Flamma. I made a mage that can only use fire magic. The light roleplay is that he's actually a djinn in disguise. He escaped from his elemental master. Now, being a djinn, he can only use fire magic. I wasn't alone. I was playing with a group of 5 people, and I will introduce them later in the video, but we didn't start together, nor did we play together all of the time. This was supposed to be a test to check if the rules would be fun. I know I explained the rules in my last video, but just recap, here are the rules we followed, at least initially. No coffer warp. We have to walk between the cities. No coffer storage, and this is a brutal one. We ended up making merchants as side characters to store our stuff. No cash shop items, except costumes, things that only change your visuals, your looks. No flywing. The idea here is that we enjoy the map, we walk more. We all had to carry at least one butterfly wing with us, because if one member dies and we can't revive him, then the whole group has to return. We thought about having a permadeath rule, but we all died several times right at the beginning, so we gave up on permadeath. No trading with anyone outside our group. No gear or quests from Eden, but we ended up getting some of these quests from the NPCs in the maps. Anyway, the rule became not getting those quests from the boards in the Eden headquarters. My character had an extra rule. Being a djinn, he hated fairies and elves, so he would refuse to step on the Eden. Every time you enter a city, you have to save in that city. And of course, rule number 0. Have fun. If a rule becomes too demanding or annoying, just drop it. For instance, very early on, I dropped the no flywing rule, but give the rule a chance first. Okay, so here starts the journey of Flamma of Geffen. So I started as a novice, all normal. By the way, you can see the words are in Portuguese. That's because we played on the official Brazilian server, bro. We called our group without meta to symbolize both that we didn't care about the meta and also that we didn't have any clear objective. Meta means objective in Portuguese. The objectives would emerge as we play. I killed some porings, the usual. I did some of the quests in Islud, but I didn't enroll in the Novice Academy. I'm not sure if other servers have this Novice Academy. I went walking to Geffen. Geffen or Geffen? How do you pronounce it? Anyway, there's this NPC on the exit of each map going from Frontera to Geffen, who mentions she wants to help those who want to become a mage. I think that's a nice way to point to completely new players where they should go in case they want to become a mage, but I don't remember this NPC in the past, to be honest. I wonder if there are completely new players to Ragnarok. My guess is that everyone who decides to play now in 2024 has already played at some point in the past. I arrived at Geffen and became a mage by simply talking to an NPC. In this server, there are no more quests for first classes, and that's a shame. I wish there was the option to do the quests. As a mage, I thought that maybe it would be too hard to play the game with only fire magic, but since this was supposed to be just a test, I thought it would be worth to try only using fire. I went to West Geffen, killed some low-level monsters. This place is so nostalgic for me. My brother's first character was a mage, and I remember him playing as a mage on this very map. We only had one computer, so we would take turns playing, although he would play way more than me. He's the older brother. I found one of those big porings and easily killed him with my fire magic. I went back to Geffen to sell the loot and maybe buy some items, but I didn't have enough money. I went to East Geffen to kill more monsters. Here, at this early stage, I stopped following one of the rules already. I started using flywing. I would die too many times without flywings. Leveling up a mage alone without flying wings, I mean, the chances of getting killed by a monster are huge. My biggest problem was the lack of SP. Nowadays, with all the powerful gear, we never lack SP. Mages have a skill increase SP recovery, which nowadays is completely useless. But since I couldn't use any of that good gear, that skill turned out to be so useful for me. It really sped up my leveling. I had to sit to recover, but with that skill, not for too long. It's nice to take things slowly. Instead of evaporating MVPs and other monsters with all that insanely strong gear we have nowadays, I was taking my time killing frogs. I'll be honest, at first there's a mixture of nostalgia, but also a bit of anxiety. Like, you know there is a good gear that would speed up this process, but just resist a bit against this temptation, and you will see how enjoyable this slow process can be. And I really mean it. Nowadays I much rather play with my weak fire-only mage than with my super powerful run knight. I kept killing frogs, found a brick frog, killed him, traveled towards Frontera, found a thief bug walking around and stealing my loot, so I decided to burn it. I died to a thief bug. One day, when I get stronger, I will go to the Frontera coverts and I will burn all the bugs. Now, fun fact, the Golden Thief is property fire too, which means that my fire-only mage will never be able to defeat him, but poor little Flamma doesn't need to know about that yet. See, if I was following a permadeath rule, that would be the end of my journey. Permadeath is merciless. I returned to Geffen, kept some of the loot to craft flywings. At that stage, I thought I could use flywings as long as I either dropped them or crafted them. But later on I started buying them from the NPC. I sold my loot and got enough money to buy me a staff and some gear. That was the end of the first day. I managed to get base level 16 and job level 19. It was fairly easy to level up my fire-only mage. Now I know that people nowadays can get level 99 in an hour. I took over an hour to get level 16, but I am pretty sure I had way more fun in this 1 hour. Without any HP, I used first aid to heal myself. The good times when we use first aid. I continue leveling up around Geffen, especially on the map filled with butterflies. Their card is pretty good, so I thought it would be a good place to level up. I managed to get to base level 24 and job level 26. I played for about an hour. I know, super slow progress, right? But that's part of the process. You gotta have faith in the process. Every day I was taking notes of how it was my gameplay session. Also, I started writing a short story for Flamma, but that's still in the making, so I won't share it, at least not for now. But it was nice to write a short fiction on the side. Not for the end product, not for the story itself, but for the process. Writing it, thinking about it, was bringing life to my character. We also posted about our gameplay sessions on the forum. We arranged to play at the weekend, but when one of us was playing alone, they would share how things went on the forum. Those things might sound like nothing and they are not actually part of the game, right? You're not actually playing it, but they bring so much more life and joy to the game. There are all these extra activities. I can't draw very well, but if you can draw your character, that's also related to playing the game. It just brings life, it just brings joy. If we reduce playing the game just to get the higher level, the best gear, I mean, that's one thing you can do, but I don't think it's as much fun, especially not for a game as old as Ragnarok. We need to adapt ourselves and change ourselves to enjoy more of the game. I sold my loot, but only managed to get 14k Zenny. It's still too far from the 45 required for the best staff. I decided to go to Morok to kill some ants. The problem there are the bats. But the Vitata card would be super good for me because first aid is really nice and nostalgic, but takes forever. Vitata card gives heal 1. I had to level up somewhere, so why not in Morok? Besides, Flamma is a genie in disguise, right? So he will feel at home in the sands of Morok. I started my journey going west. I killed some frogs. The good thing is that they drop empty bottles, which sell for 200 Zenny each on this server. This map, Mount Midjourney, I remember leveling up here as an archer. I would use the cliffs as a barrier. You can only do that in the older maps. The empty tiles on the map were not invisible barriers. In the new maps, they are. And by new maps, I mean anything from Glastonheim henceforth. In Glastonheim, empty cells are invisible barriers already. I guess the very first people working on Ragnarok, they were just better game designers. The monsters here at Mount Midjourney have changed and I'm not sure when this change happened, perhaps in Renew? I went south, I couldn't resist against the temptation and I decided to measure my strength against the metaller. I continued my journey to Morok. I started from Frontera, killing some of those damn thief bugs. I went south to kill some rockers, easily killed a vocal, the leader of the rockers, and I felt so powerful, the power of fire. Going south, I met the metallers again. I really felt like trying my luck against them once again, but I resisted the temptation. I tried a firewall against one of them, but it barely did a scratch. So I decided to measure my strength against one of those living fried eggs. And I did okay, But suddenly a Metalia appeared out of the blue. He touched the firewall and got pissed at me. I got super scared. I ran away and managed to escape. Metaliars, I respect you. I spoke to the guard and he sent me directly to Morok. These peaks are quite resistant to fire. And I saw Peko Peko egg becoming a Piki. Only now have I discovered that Pikis are baby Peko Pekos. If you want to make a knight roleplay, I think it's obligatory to have a Piki as a pet. Grow it until you get high loyalty with him, then get a Peko Peko pet. As if the Piki became a Peko Peko. Get high loyalty with the Peko Peko and only then being able to use it as a mount. Even better if you have the Piki as a pet since you're a novice, like a friend that followed you since the beginning and evolved with you, like your own little Pikachu. But what if a Piki is actually a Condor baby, right? Because maybe it is a Condor baby. Moving on, I went to Ant Hell. It's super easy to kill the ant eggs here. I easily leveled up to 41 base and 39 job. I managed to get rid of the bats using firewall. I came here to kill Vitatas, but I remembered how easy it is to level up with the ant eggs. The problem with this map is that the number of Vitatas is quite low, so it will be hard to drop Vitata card. 5th day, I started from Morok because I died. I sold some empty bottles and made a good amount of money. I decided to go back to Geffen to buy that good stuff, the one that cost 45k. I talked to that guard again, thinking that he would take me to Prontera. After all, the other guard took me to Morok. But I guess this guard is lazy. He dropped me on the map above. I opened Word to write about the gameplay session, and bam! An Elder Willow got me. Here we go again. Same path to Prontera. This map with the Elder Willows is terrible for me. They are property fire, so my fire magic is like cotton candy to them. There's no way I can defeat them. So my only option is to run. And fast. Damn, these Elder Wheelers are terrifying. They must be guardians against genes. They can see through my disguise. You know, that's what's so nice about playing with a mage that only uses one element, because when you find a monster of that element and that monster is aggressive, you get really afraid. You feel completely vulnerable. You really feel like it's a weakness, and that is so much fun. I went to the Orcs map. It was very easy to fight the Orcs here using Firewall. I even gathered a big group of Orcs, but it's a bit risky to do that. My mage is very weak, so any little mistake and that's it for Flamma. And sometimes, I would lure way too many Orcs. Then I went to Geffen to finally buy my staff. Finally. As I was going to Prontera, I opened Discord and an MVP got me. Well, back to Geffen. I went to Islud and stopped leveling up because otherwise my mage would be too far ahead of my teammates. So I decided to create a merchant. It would help to store the items, right? We cannot use storage in the Kafras. I created Longbeard. He's an old merchant who is very shy, so he avoids trading with other people. He loves drinking and has been studying the art of alchemy as a hobby. I already got level 44 with the mage without using the add-in gear. Now I'll do the same with the merchant. Way too many people say that the only way to level up is using the add-in gear. And I don't know, I think add-in gear is overestimated. Finally, I joined the group. Spira, our swordsman who only uses one-hand spears. Marcus Luther, our full support acolyte who only plays with others. Almost Nothing, our monk who solves issues with his fists or his spoon. It's been so long since I played in a group like this, a party of first job characters with a tanker, an acolyte, DPS. You guys must remember my older video about how we live in the age of solo play. I remember that the last time I played in a party, it was that kind of huge parties where everyone on the map is part of the same group and each person is killing monsters on their own. We would talk to each other a bit, but we would not play together in this strong sense of together. But even that strange kind of group has disappeared from the game. Nowadays, the vast majority of the gameplay is done solo. Playing in a group with a swordsman, archer, mage, it was so much fun. We decided to do the lowest level instance dungeon in the game, the pouring one in Islud. It gives a lot of experience and it also gives good gear for early game. The gear actually is quite weak, but it's the best option we can have playing with this self-imposed rule, so for us it is good. In the Brazilian server there is a thing called the Explorers Association in Alberta, and I think this is only in the Brazilian server, and it might be the nicest thing about this server. Every time you finish an instance dungeon, you get experience and coins as a reward. These coins can be used to buy some fairly good gear, and also get some costume gears as well. We did the pouring instance, and it was super easy with our group, first MVP for the group, and he went to almost nothing, and his powerful, super powerful spoon. Just a parenthesis here, he was using a very powerful spoon because he wanted, and rule number 0 is to have fun. It's not like that spoon breaks the game or anything like that. He wasn't way more powerful than the other of us. He got it by trading with someone outside our group, which was against the rules, but again, rule number 0. Have fun. I wish he hadn't used that spoon, but more than anything, I just want people to have fun. And also, this was a bit of a test drive that ended up becoming our main thing. So yeah, I mean, I cannot impose my rules on others, right? And as long as it's not super powerful, I think it should be fine. We delivered the quest in Alberta and returned to Islud. Now, finally, Flamma joined the group. We decided to hunt orcs till we get level 50. No Kafir warp meant that we had to go there walking. It's a very pleasant walk, by the way. And our last member joined us. Miss Emily, an archer who will become a dancer. She's kinda well behaved at first glance, but only at first glance. We went back to hunt some more orcs. We were killing orcs from above the hill until a person appeared. He was playing alone with a gunslinger and in multi-client, leveling up his other characters. We talked for a while. He really liked the idea of playing with self-imposed rules. We kept killing some more orcs, and then we found a body lying on the ground. It was the swordsman created by that very same gunslinger. It was so nice to see other people also playing this style. It's a shame that he never joined our group, so I only hope he had a good time playing with his swordsman. With all members online, we adventured into the Goblins' lands. I love the music in this map. We were there killing some goblins when their leader appeared, our first mini-boss. I absolutely loved that battle. It took some time for us to defeat the goblin leader, but it was so nice. In my previous video, some people asked why we didn't create our own private server, our server just for us 5. Well, besides the difficulty in setting up a server, if we did that, we wouldn't have the pleasure of interacting with strangers. Here in Orc Dungeon, a person stopped to comment on how nice it was to see many people with a party composed of just first classes. It brings back memories to people, the nostalgia. Most of the time I play solo, and I prefer to play on a server where others are also playing. It makes a difference. Sharing an environment with strangers makes it different. So much has changed in MMORPGs, but one thing stays true. It's a persistent, shared word. And if it's not shared, it doesn't feel real, some sense. Anyway, we went deep into Orc Dungeon, non-stop action. Again, someone else sees us, likes and starts a conversation. See, this is why it's so nice to try different playstyles. Miss Emily, our archer, got defeated by an orc, and so we had to return. We were back to Islud. This corner here, this little park, became our headquarters. More specifically, this bench right here. Other people gave their items to my merchant Longbeard because remember, we cannot use Kafir storage. And Flamma got to level 53. So I decided to go to Morok first to buy the items needed for the energy code quest. I went to Morok, bought the items from the NPCs and tried to drop the solid shells from the scorpions that inhabit south of Morok. To my surprise, I managed to get enough solid shells in very little time, and I even came across a dragonfly. Then I went to Geffen, I got energy code, and then I had to become a wizard. I knew it would be hard, because I would need to kill monsters of the fire property. And I only have fire magic. Well, I lost on my first attempt, but I might be able to do it. I used some honey, so I bought some yellow potions and some gear to get better defense. Second attempt, failed at the very last stage. I won't be able to defeat these monsters normally. I need to do something. I will hire an assistant at Frontera to help me, right? The mercenaries. I will get the most expensive one. Third attempt, failed. Well, what a fantastic waste of money. And I don't have much money, by the way, not in this account. If you summon an assistant, you can't finish the level. That's impressive, right? It's like top quality notch. programming, right? Why Gravity doesn't fix this kind of stuff? I think Gravity themselves, they don't understand the code of the game, because I know it's very old, but still they have so much money. Like they want to release Ragnarok 3. Well, fix Ragnarok 1 perhaps, because I'm pretty sure Ragnarok 3 will be just a crash grab. Anyway, day 10. This will be my 4th attempt at the Wizard Challenge. I created another mage with my normal account using strong gear to level up fast to test how to pass the challenge. So I got the mage to level 59 with some strength and I failed. Got it to level 70 with strength 40, RG 20 and dexterity 40 and I failed. I tried again at level 80 using safety wall and I failed. The monsters hit too hard and mages have far too little health. Of course, with good gear I could pass the challenge. But then I would have to do things I ruled out in this gameplay. I knew that it would be borderline impossible to pass the challenge with Flamma. I thought about using only using fire magic, but I don't think that will be enough. I really want to become a wizard, so I will have to break or change some rule. My mage has level 3 of Napalm Bomb required to get the safety wall. I thought, well, Flamma is a genie in disguise. This means that he's a spirit, a ghost. So he should be able to use ghost magic, no? Or perhaps weak ghost magic. Napalm Bomb is ghost property. So I thought, okay, maybe I will allow Flamma to use these other skills, but only if it's ghost or neutral. No other element like no wind, water and earth elements. And also I cannot level up too many of those except for safety wall, because that's just for protection and it's a neutral kind of spell. So Napalm Bomb, I could not put like level 10 of Napalm Bomb. I could only put on Napalm Bomb if it's required for another neutral skill or a fire skill, I don't know, something like this. But anyway, had to get this skill. I had it. It's type ghost. It's the best I can do. Otherwise, it's just not possible for Flamma to become a wizard. So I tried again, using Napalm Bomb, level 3 only, that's the maximum I have. And it was very hard. I almost didn't make it, but I did it. Finally, a wizard. It was so hard to become a wizard. And that's so much fun. It took me days actually, because I couldn't play too long each day, only a little bit, like half an hour. So I had to do all these different trials, these different tests, and it was so much fun. And it's interesting that in the playing this way, I'm finding more things about the game. I'm finding like this, you cannot get assistance because into the job quest there, because it breaks the code there and you cannot finish it. And it's just nice to explore these different, let's say, tastes of the game. By having a fire-only mage, you cannot finish the wizard challenge. Or maybe you can. Maybe if your mage is super strong. But then again, you need to get that gear somehow, right? But that is so nice. That is unbelievably nice. And that's the episode 1 of Flamma. That's from Flamma being just a novice, leveling up as a mage, no add-on gear, no cash shop, none of these, no trading with others, some of these playing in parties with first classes. That was so nice. This was so nice. There will be more episodes on Flamma, and we have a Discord channel now, and it has been so much fun. There will be episodes on that too, by the way, so sit tight, 1 episode per week. And if you really want to play like we're playing right now, just join our Discord. We've been playing together and it's been so nice. We don't play on the Brazilian server because, of course, the channel here is in English. So most people that watch the channel, well, I believe they're able to understand English. And the Brazilian server has IP block. Like all official servers from Gravity, they have IP block. They region restrict. Even Arrow is region restricted, so we cannot play on Arrow. But anyway, join us. It's so much fun. And that's it, guys. See you in the next episode. You have another episode on Flamma until Flamma gets to level 90. And then I really want to share with you guys how it has been playing on roleplay with you guys and hardcore mode. Anyway, see you guys in Run Vinegar.